Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I believe, Isaac, you can hear me now. Femi, you can hear me. All right. So if you can hear me, signify by saying yes. Right. We're about to start the class, the money market review. We want to take profits for this morning before we go about our business. All right. So let's quickly dive into the money market review this morning. All right. Let's quickly dive into the money market review this morning. I believe some of us should have started trading by now already. But if not, this is a good opportunity for you to actually key right into the analysis for this morning. All right, so we're going to start off with commodities, right? Okay, we're going to start off with commodities. Let's look at we're going to start off with commodities. Let's look at oil, for instance. First of all, where can we get a news on oil? Can anybody tell me? If you know where we can get a news on oil, can you tell me? Right? As a trader, you should know where to get your news from. Okay, somebody said oil.com. Okay, that is good. All right, quickly go to investing.com. Once you go to investing.com, I've been able to just bring out what happened to oil yesterday and also what we expect to happen to oil today. All right. So quickly, can you see my screen on investing.com? I believe everybody can see my screen. So oil prices fell slightly in Asia trade on Wednesday as data pointed to a large weekly build in US inventories. While weak economic signals from major importer China continue to dent the outlook for demand. All right, so let's look at the fact that China is after Chinese trade data disappointed market on Tuesday, Chinese consumer inflation sank for the first time in nearly 2 years. Data showed on Wednesday. The reading pointed to more economic headwinds for the world's largest oil importer. Of course, we all know that oil is one of the largest importers of oil, right? So, and we see that they are having a slow in demand. Okay, so we're seeing that we're having a slow in demand, right, of oil. So, and that is affecting the price of oil for this morning. Why? Because it's making the price of oil to fall. As of yesterday, the price of oil fell. Why? Because we're having enough in supply, but we're having little demand from it. So for oil this morning, right? For oil this morning, let's look at it technically, since we've been able to know that there's a direction for us. Looking at the 1 hour time frame for oil this morning. Well, you can bring out if you're using the laptop, you can bring out your horizontal line from this point and you can drop it somewhere around here. Looking at trading oil for a buy if it breaks above this resistance level, and we take our profits right before this verified resistance, right? Take your profits right before that verified resistance. Alternatively, if you want to go in for a buy, you can go in for a buy just right below here, for a sell right below here around this zone. Remember, this is a zone, not a definite price. So I'm giving you more like an area where if you see price breaks through, then you can go in for a buy and a sell, not necessarily at that particular price. Okay, so this is our I believe everybody are muted already. See here some voice in the background. Okay, so these are where we're expecting
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh,
Sorry, we can't see your chat, please.
Yeah, your
okay.
chat, ma.
Oh, I was still on investing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. But I'm going to mute everybody now. Oh, okay. MetaTrader 4, can everybody see it? Yes. Can you see it? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mobola. All right. So thank you. So these are my zones or my entries for for oil this morning. All right. So I said if we want to go in for oil this morning, we're looking at it breaking above this particular resistance level, right? For our buy, then I will take our profits just above this before this verified resistance. Please take note, this is more like a zone. I'm not giving a definite price, right? So you can go in earlier than this if you still see opportunity, and you can take your profit earlier than this. There's no a fixed price for this. All right. So alternatively for a sell as well. So if you want to go in for a sell, you just wait for it to break below this particular support area and take your profit just before this other support area. Remember, this is a zone. So this will be our take on oil for this morning. All right. So we're going to look at for other instruments or commodities shortly.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I will just continue from where we stopped. I think we just looked at oil. So let me share my screen. Then we can continue. So what we will do is, yes, I would also want to consider the dollar index, and so that way we can look out for some dollar pairs. We know that the latest news or the latest gist with the dollar was the data that came out last week, Friday. I think that's what the market is currently reacting to. NFP came out on Friday. But from that time, this is the dollar index chart. You notice that the dollar index has been, that was on Friday, yeah? Friday, this is Friday. And then you got a level of weakness, actually. But today, as it stands, let's see, normally Monday was a very quiet day. Monday was quiet, but there's nothing that moves the market as much as high impact news, of which for today, we do not really have any high impact news. We don't have any high impact news today on the dollar. I think the only high impact news that we had today was on Chinese yen and the New Zealand dollar. That was 2 a.m. to 30 a.m. You know, the CPI will be coming out tomorrow, which is a very important data. If you do not know, CPI is for consumer price index, and it will give a very good direction for the dollar, because from last year till now, the middle of last year till now, the focus of the dollar, or the focus of the world, has been on inflation. Okay, the focus of the world has been on inflation and how to tackle it. And anytime I get the opportunity to come here, I always let us know that, you know, what, as it stands now, every other high impact news is surrendering, if I use that word, to inflation data. Okay, and that's what it's all about. Well, that said, let's go in and check out well, you see the dollar index. You notice that yesterday the dollar index actually gained strength. It gained strength yesterday. It's after some retracement here. You see that the dollar is still continuing that strength. This 2 days sell was a retracement to this push up. Okay, and so we still can expect this bullish move to likely continue, especially since the dollar index is currently settled on its support. Okay, settled on its support, and that means that from here price could still head upwards. Okay, so we do not have a high impact news today on the dollar. It means that we're looking at it technically. So let's start with DE30. Let's start with DE30. Okay, good. So this is DE30, this 15 minutes. So let's look at it on 1 hour. After the push up that we've had at DE30, it's approached this proven resistance point, and at this proven resistance point, it seems to be trading bearish. Okay, this is the first, very active candle for DE30 this morning, and so something like this is expected. You would notice that DE30 was approaching a proven resistance. Let me make my chart a bit bigger. Okay, good. So DE30 was approaching a resistance around this place from which it is rejected, and that is why around this zone here is where I will consider as my sell zone on DE30. Around this zone here is where I'll consider as a sell zone for DE30. I will not advise that you jump into the sell right now. I wouldn't advise you jump into the sell right now. Yes, it's a bearish candle, and there's a lot of move in the market, but I would advise it is easier. There's less risk when you enter that sell on a resistance point. So I feel like this is a good place. All these zones that has been marked around this proven resistance point is a good place for you to enter your sell on DE30. Okay, around the proven resistance is a good place to enter your sell on DE30. I do not expect it to break it. You will notice that DE30 on the 1 hour has ranged around this zone for a while. Okay, has ranged around this zone for a while, and there is no high impact news to actually cause it to break. So it's possible that I still respect technical and is rejected at this proven resistance. Okay, so if I take my sell around this zone here, if I take my sell around this zone, I'm coming out to my profit around this particular point here. Okay, so we are waiting for price to retrace towards this point before we take our sell. Okay, that's what we advise. Then in terms of continuing the sell, say price does not break below this point. Okay, price does not get to this point. Okay, for you to take entry, we could continue that sell if price breaks this Tonkut support here. So I'm just going to put an horizontal line there. I have said that it is better to wait for price to retrace towards resistance to take your sell, especially if you're not in on this sell already. It's better to wait for price to retrace towards this resistance zone, this marked zone, to take your sell. But in the event that price does not retrace here and price can break below 15,870, in the event that price can break below 15,870, what I would advise is then for you to take your sell towards this verified support, because remember that if the dollar continues her strength, the index might likely continue falling. Okay, so that is what I expect for DE30. I'm going to say it one more time because I know that towards the end of this video someone will be saying please review DE30. So I hope you all get it when I say entry zone is around this proven resistance for a sell. Okay, I'm not going to jump into a sell right now. I want to enter around a safe zone. Entry point around this proven resistance zone, that is where you want to take your sell. Okay, but if somehow price does not retrace to this place where you take your sell and it breaks this support, then you can take your sell to this verified support. But I am expecting a sell on DE30. Okay, we'll move on from there and let us check out US 100. US 100 is also doing the same thing. You see this heavy rejection on 15 minutes. Okay, heavy rejection, which shows that there is a lot of sell pressure right now in the market. Okay, there's a lot of sell pressure in the market right now. US 100 really sold yesterday. It seems to be recovering that, but here on 1 hour, if I draw a small trend line from here, you will notice that US 100 is respecting a particular trend around here. Okay, the last high from here was rejected, around here was rejected, so it seems to be creating its own another resistance around this zone. And if I mark that zone, you will find out that yeah, it's true. Okay, this zone where it was rejected, it seems to be creating a resistance around it. Okay, creating a resistance around it. So that was a good point to actually go in for a sell. Remember that a downtrend, the downtrend it is doing now is made up of lower highs. and lower lows. Okay, so we do not really expect that it's going to break above the last high if this downtrend is to be confirmed. Okay, so I'm going to say the same thing for US 100 to advise that we look out for a sell around this zone here. Our sell is going to be around this zone. Let me zoom in a bit so that for those of us that are using our phones, our sell is going to be around this zone here where we have this untested resistance. Okay, this untested resistance, I expect a rejection from this, my blue line, this horizontal line at 15,438. That's where I expect the first rejection, and then around here. So remember, you're trading US 100, you need to have very good volume. When I analyze US 100, I'm not talking to people who have 50,000 or even 100,000 in their account. Okay, so this is where you want to enter. These are rejection zones. 15,438 is the first rejection zone, and this untested resistance at around the 15,490 zone. Those are places I want to take my sell. Okay, but if somehow I miss out from there and price does not get to that point, anything that makes price to break below this my trend line, or most likely below this support, the same way we did with DE30, anything that makes it to break below 15,341, if price breaks below 15,341, I expect it to sell to the untested support. Okay, so I am still on the side of bearish move for stocks or for indices. Expect bearish move. Whatever it is doing right now, I feel like it's good for bearish traders, for price to retrace towards this entry zone, and then you can take yourself from there and you can be more confident. You know, I always say to people that one of the best or the most important thing for me when it comes to trading is it's not so much as what you have decided to do in terms of buying or selling, as it is a function of where you enter the market. Okay, your entry point, where you enter the market, is very important. And that is why I don't always advise people who, come in and see a long bearish candle and just enter a sell. You could get lucky, it could actually work, especially during a high impact news. But it's always good to look out for support or resistance zones to enter your trade. If you want to enter a sell, it's better when you enter the sell around the support. Around the resistance. Okay, on whatever time frame you're analyzing. If you want to enter a buy, it's better you enter a buy around a support on whatever time frame you're analyzing. You understand? That reduces the risk. Okay, so for US 100, our sell at around 15,438 or around this untested resistance. This is the window for the sell. This is where your sell entries can take place. But if price doesn't get there and instead price breaks below 15,340, we can look out for a sell to the low of yesterday. You can look out for a sell to the low of yesterday. Okay, so let's move on from that. The 30 US 100. Let's jump into currencies. Jump into currencies. I will begin with GBP USD. Remember that we have said why this analysis may actually be easy, or why it might be easier, is because we have already done a little analysis on the dollar index. Okay, and because we have done analysis on the dollar index, we likely won't expect where some of these dollar pairs will go. Okay, you will notice that GBP USD has taken advantage of the weakness in the dollar to actually make some level of retracement for a couple of days. Okay, you will notice here on the daily time frame that price has begun to retrace after this this doji here. Okay, this doji here, dragonfly doji, price has actually been pushing up. Okay, but that said, right now price is approaching a verified resistance. Price is approaching a verified resistance, and you will notice that this verified resistance has been tested more than once. It was rejected around here, was rejected around here. I also need to once again state that it is not about this line. This line is not the resistance point. The resistance point is a zone. Okay, so what that means is that for GBP USD, I should be looking out for taking a sell. Simple technical analysis. I should be looking out for taking a sell around this zone here. Okay, I should be looking out for taking a sell around this zone here. That's one thing. Number two is that if this candle closes as an inverted hammer, if this candle closes with this shape, which means that if the wick of the candle, this rejection, is longer than the body of the candle, that is a rejection pattern. Okay, and that will likely mean that GBP USD will continue to fall. Okay, so this is my entry zone for GBP USD. I'm looking out for a rejection around the verified resistance. Take a look out for a sell around this verified resistance zone. Anything that makes price to come within this zone, we're going to be looking out for a sell. And then our take profit is going to be at least before this particular, where there was this range here. Okay, so if I'm looking out for that sell, I'm targeting at least about 38 pips or thereabouts. Okay, so you're looking out for a sell around these zones. This verified resistance zone, and you're coming out, you take profit at around 1.274 region. Okay, if price continues to break, then we may expect price to get to this verified support, from where we will still expect price to push back up. Okay, so some smart traders might already put like a sell limit at this verified resistance. You can include a sell limit here, and you can include a buy limit here also. Okay, you have a sell limit here, you also have a buy limit at this particular point. Okay, so what we are doing today is trading rejection, because the dollar has actually gotten to a support zone. The dollar index has gotten a support zone, so we expect other other dollar pairs or instruments that are correlated with dollar to do a kind of retracement or a rejection. And that's why what the analysis is today regarding dollar pairs. Okay, so I'm expecting a rejection around this verified resistance zone. I'll be looking out for a sell around this zone here, taking profits around this point here. But if price breaks below this place, then I'll sell to this support. Okay, from this support, I still expect price to push back up. Okay, so that is GBP USD. Let us look at the next thing I have here, which is Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Okay, yeah, in here we have Mr. Euro JPY. Okay, good. So this is Euro JPY, and this is the daily time frame. You agree with me that Euro JPY has gotten to a resistance point that is, quite strong. You will notice, if I zoom in, you will notice that this is a zone where price has been rejected a couple of times. Okay, and of course, price still keeps returning to that point, but Euro JPY tested that resistance zone yesterday, and it was rejected, although it still closed bullish. Okay. So what do I see for Euro JPY, especially on the 1 hour? I noticed that after this major sell here, okay, price made a retracement, okay, a retracement. And if we will just calculate for those persons who, understand what, if we will just try and calculate, we'll find out that price made a 38.2 Fibonacci retracement around that point there. So what we are saying at this point is that there's a resistance here, right here on Euro JPY. Let me put it in as simple a term as possible. There's a resistance point here that price has not been able to break above for a couple of hours now. Okay, price is always rejected here. So this is what we are going to do for Euro JPY. For those of us trading that will trade Euro JPY today, this is a very I feel like this is a money maker already. Okay, this is a money maker already. So what I have done is I have marked out the range for today. Where price has been ranging for today, I have marked it out. Okay, so what we will do is to look out for a buy above this zone and look out for a sell below this zone. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark that point with okay, so this is my sell zone. This zone here to this particular support, or even to this untested support, is my sell zone. Okay, once price breaks below this point, I am going to be selling to this untested support. Okay, but once price breaks above that point, we are going to be doing a buy to that verified resistance. You understand? So this is it. Look at what I am saying here. I am saying that this point here is my sell. Let me change the color, or wait, let me just insert text here. Insert a text at this zone here. So that is my buy. Okay, that's my buy. This place here is my buy Once price breaks above this particular point here, I'm expecting a buy from this zone. From 157.280, I'm expecting a buy to this verified resistance, okay? But from 157, that's below that particular point there. You know, below this point here, I am expecting a sell. Okay, here we have it. Okay, so once price break below 156.880, I'm expecting a sell, because you like I said, price has already made a range. Price has made a range, and what that means is that price has created a high point and a low point for itself. Like, it has created a support and a resistance for itself within this 1 hour. So we want to go out for a buy above this resistance, we want to go out for a sell below this support. But if you ask me for Euro JPY today, I expect that it's going to fall back down. Okay, I expect it's going to fall back down. Looking at what has happened on the daily time frame, the fact that price has been rejected at this particular resistance point here, I expect that Euro JPY is likely going to continue selling and come back to test this untested support. Okay, that's for Euro JPY. Let us look at gold. Let us consider gold. You know, I kind of feel for gold. The reason is because I was of the opinion, a strong opinion, that gold was going to retest the 2000 zone, especially some weeks back when it started pushing back up. But the truth is that the dollar has really dealt with gold. If you check gold, I'll just zoom in. If you check gold on the 1 hour, you find out that gold has hit a verified support somewhere where it was rejected in the past, and you know, seems to be trading back upwards. Now, if you look at this verified support zone, and see the behavior of price around this verified support. This first time when it was rejected here, not the first though, but this time it was rejected, there was a high impact and it returned it back. Okay, but most recently, once price is rejected at this point, price gets as high as this and goes back to test that support, and it is doing the same thing. It's around that zone where it has been. You know what it takes, you know, as you do analysis, you begin to see the chart and you begin to see patterns. You look out for patterns on the chart, you know. And what I'm saying is this: the last time price got to this verified support, it was rejected and went as far as this zone before returning. Now we got to this verified support today, rejected, and has gotten to around the same zone where it got to the last time, and has it's seemingly been rejected around that zone. So what does that tell us? It tells us that gold will likely be heading back towards this verified support. Gold will likely be heading back towards this verified support, except it breaks this 1932 zone. If it breaks the 1932 zones, if price gets to 1933, then you can buy to the verified resistance. But I will be looking out for a sell on gold. Okay, I will be looking out for a sell on gold back to this verified support. Okay, I'll be looking out for a sell on gold back to this verified support. The only time I'm going to buy gold is if it trades at 1933. From 1933, I can buy gold to around 1935 or 1936. Where a verified resistance is. Okay, but a sell is what I would advise on gold, especially if it trades below 1928. Okay, if gold trades below 1928, then I will advise a sell, because if it trades below 1928, which is the most recent low, if it goes below the most recent low, then it's going to approach this verified support at around 1924. You understand? So that is what our advice for gold. Remember, we do not have any high impact news. So nothing to really spike gold up, but I expect a sell on gold. Okay, buy on gold will only be advised if it trades at 1933. Then you can buy it around 1936. But I expect a sell on gold, especially when it breaks below 1928. Then you can sell to around 1924. You know, when you analyze gold, it just looks like you're talking about you're dealing with years. You know, so I feel strange a bit. Okay, so that's for gold. We have done we are not, you would, for people who have been attending these meetings, I'm sure you know that entries have no longer been given. We give a more holistic approach to the market so that you're not limited to one particular move. You understand? So why don't you focus on listening to what I'm saying? Jot down if you need to jot down. But if you're expecting entries, you will not actually get. I'm actually calling out entries, you know. So let's just focus on what I'm saying. The most important thing about the MMR, the market review, is not the most important thing. Is actually not entry. It's actually to help you form a habit of a habit on how to analyze the market. Okay, and I'm sure that we are achieving that, how to analyze the market. So please listen to what I'm saying. What is more important is why I'm saying a buy or why I'm saying a sell. Okay, it's not the entries. But I'm going to repeat again that for gold, I advise a sell from 1928. I advise a sell to around the verified support at 1924. The only time I advise a buy is if it trades at 1933. Okay. Good. Let's move on from gold and let us check out. We've done GBP, we've done Euro JPY. Let me consider USD JPY. Let's look at USD JPY. Okay, good. For USD JPY, it's interesting because when you talk about USD JPY, you notice that the dollar has been dealing with the Japanese yen for a while. After what USD JPY has been doing is like a couple of days now is a fine bullish move in the sense that price has been after a couple of retracement, price has been able to push up. Okay, so you notice that USD JPY has made it known to us that no, I've not done USD JPY. I've done Euro JPY. Okay, I'm just doing USD JPY. So for USD JPY, you check it on 1 hour, you find out that it has created a kind of box, a kind of resistance box around this zone here. I'm going to mark it around this zone here. This is what USD JPY has done. It has created a verified resistance around here. Yes, it has created a verified resistance, and this place that is marked green is a zone, is a rejection zone. And it can be a very it can be a how will I say it now? It can be a very troublesome zone, especially when you go and you just enter the market around a range like this. It's not advisable that you enter the market when the market is in a range. Okay, so what I would advise for USD JPY, we check how many pips we have from here to the next resistance. We have about 30 pips from this zone to the untested resistance. So I would advise in this kind of range, we can use a pending order. Okay, we can use a pending order. We can take a buy stop around this zone here, take a buy stop around here, and we can take a sell stop around here. Okay, we can take a buy stop around here, we can take a sell stop around here also. Take profit at this point, which is about 20 pips ahead, and then take profit for this one at this week support, which is about this is about 30 pips also. Okay, so for USD JPY, considering the range that it has done on 1 hour, I can place my buy stop at around the 143.53 zone. My buy stop can be around 143.53 zone, and then my take profit can be around the 143.700 zone. You understand? I can take my profit at 143.700 zone, and then for my sell stop, I can have my sell stop at 142.770. 142.770, and then my take profit at 142.470. That's about 30 pips. Okay, so you have the range for USD JPY. So I would advise spending orders because of the range it has created on this daily time frame. But it's on an uptrend, so I will not be surprised if price still goes back to test this untested resistance. Okay, just like it did here. Just like it did here, pushed up, ranged a bit, and then pushed back up, okay? And just like it did there. And you can see it has been rejected around that same zone. It has pushed up. It is ranging around that zone. So I will not be surprised if it pushes up to test this untested resistance once again, okay? Okay, let me do one more. Okay, let's look at USD CAD. Okay. Yes, this is USD card. US dollar, Canadian dollar, the battle of the dollars. Well, you would notice that, remember, the strength of Canadian dollar is so much on oil. And that is why for you, if you check USD card on the daily time frame, you see it's been on a downtrend, right? If you check it, it's been on a downtrend. This is USD card. And you will notice that from this place here, price has respected this trend, okay? Good. So that said, we see that USD, the dollar index is actually on a support, where we expect it to push up from. So for USD card, I feel like this is actually a good time to actually, considering the fact that it's on a support, it's actually a good time to look out for a buy on USD card, especially once it breaks above this small resistance it has created on the 1 hour. Once it breaks above this 1.34330, if it breaks above 1.34330, then I could expect a buy on USD card. Let me see how many pips we have to this point here. About good. So if it breaks above 1.34330, you can expect a buy on USD card with a 20 pips take profit. Okay, that's what I expect. I expect a buy on USD card, especially if it breaks above 1.34330, you know. But if it breaks this support, if it breaks this stone cold support, then we could expect a sell to this verified support. Okay, this verified support, and you know, I can tell you from this verified support, I would expect a push up in the market. I expect a push up, but right now USD card is on is support, and so the buy is expected at 1.34332. From there you can take your buy, take profit of 20 pips. Okay, take profit of 20 pips. Okay, that's very funny. That said, I'm going to once again announce that let's not forget, by God's grace, this same link brings us to the afternoon session by 2 p.m. This same link will take us to the afternoon session. So please don't forget to join us with this same link. We are going to be looking at the afternoon session, especially towards the US session that will begin by 2:30. Okay, so do your best to join us at that time. Okay, we have a couple of programs today at the Abuja office. For those persons who are around Abuja, we'll send a notification. Do not forget that we'll be having a special training today at Abuja by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. today, we're going to be having a special class at our Abuja office at Central Business District. That's the fifth floor of Castina House. The fifth floor of Katsina House. That's where we'll be having a special training today by 10 a.m. We'll be looking at the ultimate Bollinger Band trading for maximum profit. So do your best to join us. It's going to be a physical training. So if you're not there physically, you will not get it. Okay. So you have to be there to receive. Okay, physically. Okay. Yes. That said, always watch out for, I think yesterday we had a very interesting training session for our VIP clients, VIP strategy session. And this class is a class that would likely hold same time next week. So for our VIPs, fingers crossed, we should be reaching out to you next week, Tuesday again at the same time for a special VIP session. Okay. So that said, I want to wish us a very profitable day ahead, and whatever questions that you have from some of the analysis that has been done today, you can reach out to your account officers. We already talked about US 100. Okay, so please let's try and come early. Reach out to your account officers. Well, our office in Warri, don't worry, sir. You can talk. We can talk with you and come up with a way to set up an office so to also benefit you. Okay, so yeah, there's no problem about that. Thank you for your time. Have a very profitable day ahead. Bye for now.